Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 19 of Small Stages, Big Sounds, the Uberrock podcast that we're running on a weekly basis. We're going a bit international today. We're going across the water to Texas. So Giovannie and the Hired Guns, and this is Giovannie Yanez from the Hired Guns. So, hi, Gio. How are you?
Good. How is everybody? I hope everybody's having a great day over there.
Well, it's been a lovely day so far, but it started raining a little while ago. I know you don't get so much of that in Texas, but we get plenty of it over here.
Yeah, oddly enough, it's been kind of rainy and cold and windy over here. So we have bipolar weather in Texas.
I've got a friend that lives in Texas. I think he lives in Austin. I met him on a World Scout Jamboree several years ago. He's a firefighter. So there we are. Anyway, so I know you've got this album coming out on the 14th, and I've had the opportunity to listen to it and review it. And the review will be going up on Uberrock before that date anyway. Okay. So can you tell us about the inspiration between the album and how it differs from your previous creations?
Yeah, this one was during a time that it was a chapter in my life, that I was kind of going off the rails a little bit. I was having a little too much fun, and that was because I went back after I had to go away and get myself straightened out, and I came back and I listened to that album again, man. I found myself crying, 'cause it hit me that hard because I remember, writing out some of those songs, but some of those songs I reheard and I was just like, whoa, man, that's like it was a cry, and to me it sounded like a cry if somebody was crying out for, a lending hand. He just didn't know how to, because there's like, Land of the Lost on that album, over and over. Another one. My father-in-law also, he got to hear the album. And, one day my wife texted me and she was like, my dad just, you know, started tearing up. He's like, how did everybody not know? Like, listen to
Mm.
that song. It's really great. I had some second thoughts about honestly releasing that album, getting out. I was just in this weird, I don't know. I didn't feel like Geo, like me. I'm this,
Mm.
guy. I just dug my hand into a bag that was reaching in there a little too much.
So you've had a chance to look at it from a different perspective then, really. And you realize to a certain extent how exposed you made yourself in recording it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like I said, I listened to it. There's only one track that I'm a little bit about, and
Mm-hmm.
that's Dirty Talk, but that's a personal thing.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
all the other ones, I think they're fab, absolutely fab.
Thank
And
you.
I know you've been to the UK on tour,
Oh yeah.
but having listened to the album a few times now, I can see which which UK band you'd support, and it would go down an absolute storm. And I don't know whether you've heard of a band called Skin.
Kindred. I have not.
They're a Newport-based band that write very similar music to you, and the lead singer is a huge character. He's phenomenal on stage, absolutely phenomenal. So it may be worthwhile you checking out some of their stuff.
Absolutely. I'm definitely going to
Yeah,
Skinred?
Skin, Dread, yeah.
Kindred. Great.
So you've obviously looked at the album differently. How do you see your sound evolving from now that you're in a different place?
Great. I really enjoyed the stuff that we did on this album. It felt very more personal and like you said, vulnerable. Even more than what we were. I already thought, how can we get even more, opening up even more, and you kind of dig into my life and in the Quitter album, and now we're actually working on our next album. We were just got out of the studio this past week, man, cuz
Mhm.
this fire was just lit under me, like it really made me think about how precious everything is and just to do whatever you want. So that's what we were in the studio, man, and we were just kind of overthinking everything here recently. And we're just like, man, why don't we just write an album that's fun? If we pick out something that we're jamming out to and we think it's cool, let's just write a cool record.
Mm.
Like, let's not worry about if it's too rock, if it's too country, if it's too this. No,
The,
let's just go in here, sit down, and let's just be musicians, what we are, you know?
Like I said, listened to it and I thought there's some really different variation across the album. The one that hit me most was You, because it reminds me of the Cadillac 3 in the sort of music that I like and the style that it's written.
Yeah, thanks, man. I was sitting here one day, I think I was looking at my wife, and I just started picking on the guitar. And I came up with that little riff, you know,
Mm.
and I was just, because my wife is the total 100% opposite of what I am, you know? Like, she is, I feel like I'm this little demon, and she's just this angel that's put in my life to just kind of like, come chill out, you know? So I was just sitting there and I was just, things that she would never do, because in that first line, I just want to sit down and get high with you. But never, you know? It's just, yeah, man. It was maybe this, yeah, dude. Yeah. So
So
thank you.
you've got a wide variety of influences. Who would you say is your biggest musical influence?
So one of the very first albums I ever got as a child was AC/DC, man. And I think what caught my attention was my dad gave me the Dirty Deed CD, and there's a song on there that says "I got big balls," and I was just, dude, I would play that on repeat as as a kid because I thought it was funny. But then me exploring even more into that, you know, I really love the whole energy of that, and then growing up and listening to I'm a very Texas-based singer-songwriter guy. Like that's I love that, and I listened to a lot of Randy Rogers as a kid growing up. I listened to a lot of Guy Clark, Jerry Jeff Walker growing up, Steve Earle growing up. Just a variety of people, man. And you know, it's so crazy how I can see it all, man, of my stages of life. And then I started getting into high school, and then my uncles introduced me into metal bands and emo bands and all that
Well,
stuff,
like I
man.
said, this is the first clip from Giovannie and the Hired Guns, and it's called Cheap Tequila, and it's used with permission of the artist. Some sort of elements of Green Day in some of the tracks. Definitely, I could pick those up. And what else was I going to say? There was something else that occurred to me when I was writing it, and I thought, yeah, I could hear that in. No, but there's the rock stuff. I could pick that up as well. So
Yeah,
it's a wide variety. So it shows your influences to a certain extent.
yeah, and I also think I don't know if it was that style of music is just more based on how I grew up or the energy that's transferring through me that this is, because it's like I don't know how to explain it, you know. I think it's just the way that we feel sometimes is the music that projects. So to pick a band that is our biggest influence, I I think all of the bands that I've ever heard and are continuing to hear. Yeah, I
And it
can't really certainly pick just one band that we're like, yeah, that's the band.
and it shows across the style right that goes right through the album, to be fair. It does show the various influences that you're going through. So how do you feel your American Mexican heritage is influencing some of your styles?
Man, it's I love it. I absolutely love it because when you listen to Mexican music, there's this way of pronunciation or pronouncing the word that you cannot do in English. Like something that you can say one word in Spanish and it sounds like in English you're saying multiple words, but it's just one word and you just ride the pitch or whatever it is, and it just sounds like this. And we want to bring that kind of energy into this music of just fun, and it can be a sad song, but it sounds really fun and good, you know?
I
And
mean,
that's what I feel like, my culture and the, Mexican music is same thing. Like it could be this super powerful, just thumping song, but he's talking about, his dog got ran over and his wife left him or something. But it sounds
typical
so
countries.
good, you know?
I like Pineapple Sunshine as well, to be fair.
Thank you. So, funny story on Pineapple Sunshine, man. I used to, in my dark days, I would sit in my office and FaceTime my cousin. And I'd be sitting there talking to him, and I'd have my recorder and my mic or whatever I would have set up on GarageBand just to get ideas. And I started playing this tune. I was listening to reggae music at the time, Stick Figure, all these guys. and I'm writing this song, and I'm just like, I record it, put it down. And at the time, that was one take. I remember freestyling it. And I'll have to go back and find it somewhere. But I remember you can hear me talking to my cousin, and the recording sounds super cool. And I'm talking to my cousin on the FaceTime, and I just freestyle that whole entire song. Not stop one time. The whole time I was just freestyling the whole take. And afterwards, my cousin was just kind of like, bro, what song was that? I was just like, dude, like, but that song, man, was exactly what I was going through, which is, kind of, it's crazy, man, looking back at it, because it was called something else, but we came back and we were like, man, maybe we shouldn't necessarily put in that it's about pills, blah blah blah. So I made up my own
Mm.
drug, pineapple sunshine, which, sometimes is why I would take stuff, because sometimes it would make me feel better. We made up our own little drug called pineapple sunshine. I think the first song just, look at me today, does it look like I'm okay? I'm just wondering the last time you asked me
Mm.
about my insanity,
Mm.
and it's just like, I guess I just felt like nobody really, and I feel like as men, I feel like we hold this stature of, I'm good, I'm this big old, I'm this,
Mm.
I'm good, don't ask me about nothing, I'm fine. But deep down, you're just,
Falling apart.
sometimes you want that, to somebody to genuinely sit down across from you and be like, hey, dude, tell me what's going on, like, really, tell me anything. But yeah, man, I feel like sometimes people get scared because they don't want to show themselves being this person that we've been embedded in our brain, that we're this, if we say how we truly feel. And it sucks because some people can't take it, and you
And
know.
then bad things happen, when if nobody cares enough to say, how are you doing? What's really going on? Then all of a sudden, the next thing you know is you're no longer with us. And
And you'll go to
that's,
the doctor, and the
yeah.
doctor will hand you these pills, and then you start taking these pills, and these pills
Mm.
take over your mind, and then you feel this, you don't know who you are, and then that's before you can. Yeah, man, it's
Anyway,
crazy, man. It's a crazy world.
it is. So let's go back now. Let's go on to live performance. I can imagine this live. It would be incredible to see live. Absolutely. I can see the energy, particularly from the videos as well. So do you go out to write music that translates easily to a live performance?
Times where yeah, you catch yourself either humming something, and then you're like, oh man, that would be great in a live performance. And sometimes you just don't, and you just write your art, because sometimes you just gotta write your art, perform your art, and be like, if people like it, because I don't know how to explain it, because it's, unless you're performing, you can just feel the energy, to where sometimes it just takes over you, and a song that you thought was just this slow little song, everybody's shouting it right back at you,
Mm.
and it makes everything just so yeah, absolutely. Taking consideration, yeah, about writing songs that would be cool at shows, or songs that were just right, just
This is a second clip from Giovanni and the Hired Guns, and it's called Quitter. You just
just
write
because.
them and play them.
That's right.
Yeah. So I know you've played two gigs in the UK,
Mm-hmm.
one in Manchester, one in London. I mean, I know in the grand scheme of things, you don't think it's very far from Manchester to London because you could fit the whole UK into Texas. But there are other areas to consider as well, because the problem with the UK, particularly the UK music going audience, is they're very reluctant to travel great distances. And when I say great distances, I'm talking over 20 miles.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to Canada a few years ago, the first time in North America, and I thought, oh, we'll go there. That's not far on the map. 5 hours in, I turned around and went back.
Yeah.
So you got no, coming from the UK, you got no concept of how big the world is. You really don't.
That's
And
wild.
and you guys in America, you don't think anything of traveling 12 hours to go to the next town, you know?
Yeah, yeah, from here to the closest, I guess, supermarket. Cause I live out in the country a little bit, but the
Mm-hmm.
big supermarket store, I mean, it's 45 minutes from me.
Mm.
So, you know.
And you don't worry about it. But over
No,
you.
you got to. You have to do it.
If you can't get it in 10 minutes in the UK, it ain't worth going.
Hey, it's all right.
Yeah. So obviously, I mean, I'm not from England per se. I'm from Wales, which very few people realize is a different country. But, I mean, there
Is
are.
it? What was it? Sorry, I interrupted you.
Go on, no, it's okay. You carry on.
Hey, where's Iron Brew from?
Scotland.
Okay, okay. That is my jam, man.
Horrendous. It's horrible
I
stuff.
You don't like Iron Brew?
No, it's gross.
I like Iron Brew. I'm trying to think of a beer that I liked over there as well. I don't know. There's so many. I think the Shield was like orange and red and maybe gold. I don't know. I don't remember the beer. I was just drinking beer with everybody.
Why not?
Yeah,
It's completely different to American beer anyway. So
no doubt.
just think about other, London, Manchester, not that far apart in your mind, but the music going audience is huge.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Obviously, you said about your personal experiences, and many of the songs that you've written draw on your personal experience. I'm not going to dwell on that too much because
Yeah.
you've already shared a fair bit. But it's nice to know that you're in a better place. That's
Oh
the
yeah.
main thing. So, which is your favorite track on the album?
Favorite track on the album. It's a tough one between Cheap Tequila, Land of the Lost, or Let You Down.
Mm,
Let You
okay.
Down reminds me of a little Tom Petty, but I think
Mm,
the reason is because I do like a fry, like a scream in
mm,
those songs. And I've never done one and recorded it and released it. So, the reactions has been pretty good
yeah.
on
I
Cheap
said
Tequila. So,
all the tracks I like. Like I said, we did mention about Dirty Talk or Talk Dirty, sorry,
yeah.
but that's an age thing, I'm sure. So you combine so much in terms of the stylistic content into this. Is that a deliberate choice on your part, or did it just happen?
Yeah, I think it just happens. We really don't. I think it's just what we hear in our heads or hear in my head that this would be cool here, and everybody's like, "Cool, let's try it out." And that's what it is. I love the projects that we do because you can tell from our first album, you can tell it was that band. The second album was a whole completely new band, and we figured this out the other day because the first album was a whole different band. Like the second album was a whole different band, not by much, but it was a whole different band. But each time, if we thought something sounded great in this moment, it's for the song at the end of the day. It's for the sake of the song. If we think it's awesome, why not? So.
Which was the one part where you went, yes, that's it?
Um, Probably when we got done because that was a crazy time out there. We went out to the middle of the desert, middle of El Paso, like almost by the border. Like we were literally walked to the border of Mexico
Mm.
in the middle of the desert in no man's land. And it was cool. It was kind of sketchy nights because, it was cool, man. It was a cool place. And yeah, I think when we got done, because of all the mayhem that has happened after everything that was going on, I think when we got done, he actually finished the album. It was like that. We did it.
Good. Okay.
So, yeah.
So, have you noticed any changes in your audience as time has progressed? Different styles, different members of the audience, or
Yeah, a lot of younger people are showing up to our gigs. And we're kind of noticing that whenever we started, it was like maybe almost 10 years ago. And sometimes those fans had kids, right? And
hmm
now we're at this age to where their parents were probably blasting our music to now their kids absolutely think we're the bee's knees. And like, yeah, man, we're starting to see a lot younger crowds showing up to our gigs. And yeah, it's just a mixture of everything. It's crazy. We got these, we got the Vatos showing up, we got the Cowboys, we got the Rockers, we got we have we have literally everybody at our shows, man. But that's what our shows are all about. Everybody's welcome. We don't
all
open arms,
inclusive,
man.
all inclusive.
That's it. All
Yeah.
inclusive, open arms. Let's have fun.
So, what are your plans for the future? Looking at tour, I know you tour in America at the moment. Do you plan to
Yeah.
come to the UK and Europe in the near future? You don't
So
have to tell me if it's
yeah.
secret.
No, no, no. So, we love touring the US. We're about to go on tour for about 6 weeks, 2 months straight. So that's gonna be really fun. And, I'm just focusing on taking everybody for the next 6 weeks, for those 2 hours that I get with them, to take them away from whatever stuff they're going through. Let them have fun for a night. Let them get to experience what it is to have fun before they have to go back to whatever bull crap they have to deal with. So that's what I'm really gonna focus on, is put on the best show I possibly can before every single show. And, just focusing on this next album, focusing on everybody, man, besides myself. So
Well,
I think that's my main goal so far this year, is to just give. So
you seem to have gone through and come out the other side.
thank you. That makes me thank you. Thank you, man. That's awesome.
For you to be thinking about others means you're in a place to be able to give.
Yeah, man. I would love anything but to do that, man. Absolutely.
Okay. So how would you like people to remember Giovanni and the Hired Guns?
Man, Aziz, don't give a crap what you say about them. Rocking, loving, caring, fun guys, man. That's it. That's all, man. And it's so great too, man, because sometimes, we come back to venues, or we hear stories from people out there talking about us, and it's never a bad thing. I feel like we're seen on the internet as these, whatever, guys, man,
Yeah.
and that they expect this whatever. But then whenever you hear that, these guys were the most down to earth dudes, at the end of the day, we all take a crap on the same toilet. So
Well,
I'm no
not on the
better than,
same one, no.
yeah. Oh, you know what I mean? Something like that. It's something like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. We all go to the toilet the same way.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. There
Nice to have a laugh anyway.
we go.
So thank you for your time, Joe. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And like I said, I enjoyed the album, and that'll be going up on Uberrock in a few days' time. Um, like I said, it's been a pleasure, and hopefully I'll catch you when you're touring over this part of the world at some point.
David, thank you so much for
Thank,
having me, talking with me, listening, lending an ear. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the fall. So, yeah. Hey, hey.
Thank you for your time. This is the final clip from Giovanni and the Hired Guns, and it's called Great Escape. If you want to find more of their content, it's all available already on YouTube at this link.